attack, Billy Mac attack, a Billy Mac attack, a cool Clyde, shock the side, shock, shock the side, shock, shock the side. Get that? I say who's the man that makes you wanna dance? Lightnin Lance, a Lightnin Lance. Put the fly jazz and right in your pants. Lightnin Lance, a Lightnin Lance. So come on, party people, won't you give us a chance? Lightnin Lance, a Lightnin Lance, Lightnin Lance, a Lightnin Lance, a Lightnin Lance, a Lightnin Lance.
Okay. Here with, introduce yourself for the people.
What up, New York City, all over the world, the Bronx Burn Kid, DJ Lightnin Lance, first DJ to record live scratch on wax. The nasty cousin, shout out to my cousin DJ Cool Clyde. We from the east side of the Bronx. The east side of the Bronx. You know what the east side is? A big part of the Bronx.
Okay.
A lot of projects. I come from Lafayette, Boynton Avenue.
Okay.
Story Avenue between Lafayette, Morrison, and Boynton.
Born and raised?
I was born and raised in the Bronx.
Okay.
I moved over to the east side of the Bronx in 1969. I must have been 6 years old or 7 years old.
Okay.
On this side of the Bronx, we have a lot of projects.
Right.
We got Monroe, we got Soundview, we got Saquon, we got Class and Point, we got Bronx River,
right.
Bronxdale, first, second, third section. Did I say Castle Hill?
Right.
We got Leland, we got Trio, we got Carolland Gardens, we got Academy Gardens, which is by Cozy Corner.
Right.
It's a big, large area of the Bronx. Overlooked.
Okay.
And coming up as a shorty, I say around 1975, I started going to the park jams. And went from park jams to me to a little schoolyard areas to junior high school 123.
Okay.
Anywhere from 1975, that was for me what got me into DJing. 1975, one of the first DJ I seen in the parks was a guy named Disco King Mario. Rest in peace to him.
Okay. So that was 75?
Around, I say it was 75.
So wait, are you saying that's what inspired you to be a DJ or?
Well, before I was a DJ, I was a breakdancer, I was a graffiti writer. By 1978, I was already on the turntables, doing events.
So when you saw Mario in 75, you was a breakdancer at that time, or?
I was a breakdancer.
At that time?
Where
you used to breakdance at?
Out in the parks, whether it was Rosedale Park, whether it was on my block, where I come from, Lafayette, Bronx River Center. Shout out to Wade Lewis, Green-Eyed Wade Lewis, Shaka Zulu. He was the Shaka Zulu president. He put me down with Shaka Zulus.
Right. So when did you become a B-Boy officially? Do you remember what year?
I'm going to say anywhere between 75, 76.
Okay.
77. Those were the years that I was B-Boying.
What was your name? Lance? Lightnin Lance?
They used to identify me by my graffiti name, Crime 2. I used to write graffiti. Also,
Crime 2.
I went from breakdancing. While breakdancing, started writing graffiti. Stopped breakdancing. These is like in short intervals.
But this all starts at 75 with you?
75 for me, I could say.
Okay, can we say your age? Like, when were you born?
I was born in 1962.
Okay, so you're
so
talking
you
about
figure
13.
75, I was like 13.
13, right, okay. So 75, you start dancing. Same time you start graffiti.
Graffiti writing.
Okay, Crime 2?
Crime 2 and CEO.
Was you down with a graffiti crew?
TGAs.
Okay.
The Get Arounds.
Okay.
Which was my cousin's crew. His name was CLYDE.
Okay.
So we did a lot of things together, my cousin. He's 4 years younger than me, but he was doing a lot of things real young, early. And my crew was NTA for No Toys Allowed. Okay. Also TLP, the local partners, which was LK, Little Corrado. We used to tag with him. That was his crew.
Yeah, I be Little Corrado, LK, TLP old school.
People like CLYDE, who's on Hot 97 now, used to roll with us back in the day, so this is real talk.
K-State Drama King, you watching the cool CLYDE show, my nigga CLYDE. We go way back, Lightnin Lance, you understand what I'm saying, you already know what it is. First niggas putting the scratch thing down, man. Get your history right.
Yo, Al, let's talk about this, man. Talk about the stuff that you used to do, man, back in the day.
Just taking it to the L's, straight to the layups. Straight to the Underground Railroad, where the trains was at, that's where we was at. Coming with a bag full of cans and you making it happen.
LK, Little Corrado, we used to tag with him. That was his crew.
Was he breakdancing with you?
Everybody did a little bit of breakdancing.
Do you remember him breakdancing?
Yes.
Because I heard he was one of the early breakdancers. Do you know?
LK, he was.
Yeah.
When Wade started the Shaka Zulu, he went outside of Bronx River and started recruiting dudes from Bronx River. He wanted to be down with the Zulu Kings.
Right.
But for some reason, he didn't get down with them. He started his own crew called Shaka Zulus.
Okay.
And I had to audition for him in Bronx River Center.
You remember what year
in
was that?
In the back of the Bronx. It had to be like 76.
76.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was already breakdancing before I was a Shaka Zulu.
Okay. So 76, yeah, those were those days. Those were those early hip-hop days, 76.
Yes. Around 77, a lot of dudes started getting equipment.
Because of the blackout, right?
Yes, from the blackout era.
Right.
And then once people were getting summer youth corps jobs, like me, I had a summer youth corps job, 76.
Okay.
I started getting my money together, putting it together for equipment. Remember, before people know you as a DJ, you got to get your equipment up. It wasn't like an MC. You was good. All you needed a mic and somebody will put you on their sound system. When you was a DJ, people wasn't putting you on. You had to come out with your own equipment, and that took time to get your money up, to get turntables, to get a mixer, to get an amplifier, to get the big speakers.
Right.
You know, people don't understand. Before you could come outside and jam in the parks, you had to have equipment. Cats wasn't just letting you on, especially if you didn't really have clientele. You was just coming up, making a name for yourself. You had to have your own equipment. And usually it was a crew of DJs. It might have been 3 or 4 dudes in a crew. And they put whatever they had and they put it all together. Now you got a crew coming out in the parks. And you had to have some protection. You know, because you couldn't just go anywhere and play in any area because people will rob you for your sound system.
Yeah.
That's how it was back then. And I'm telling you facts, how it was.
So let me ask you, let me go back because you first started talking about something that's deep to me as far as the East Bronx, right? And for a while, that's the topic for me now. I've been trying to figure out, because when I looked it up, when I researched it, I didn't find definite borders for South Bronx, East Bronx, West Bronx. I don't find definite borders. How do you define East Bronx? Like,
to me, East Bronx to me is anywhere above north of Hunts Point. Once you start going in that Soundview section,
Whitlock. From Whitlock to White Plains Road.
No, White Plains, Whitlock and White Plains
area,
Road,
but, okay, so you're saying the East Bronx starts at Whitlock up?
Going up.
Right, okay.
Soundview section.
So Soundview section, would you call that, so you call that the East, would you call that the Southeast?
No,
because I've always heard the Southeast.
We just gonna say East.
East, okay.
Because when you talking South, East, when you talking South, we talking South Bronx.
Right.
That's Patterson, Melbourne.
Right.
The
Third
Dirty
Avenue,
South, all
Third
that,
Avenue,
Jackson, and that's a big section too.
Brook, Cypress, right.
Yes, that's the area where Flash got his name from, and Theodore, L Brothers, South Bronx.
South Bronx. Right, and you know that's interesting. I'm gonna get back to the East too, but that's interesting because people got the South Bronx embedded in their mind that that's where hip hop started.
No. South Bronx have nothing to do with hip hop.
But really the South doesn't really have any claim to hip hop beginning, starting.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the founding fathers or icons that really put a stamp on hip hop, came from the South Bronx.
No, who? Besides Flash and
Flash,
Theodore.
and they when it comes to DJing,
Right.
they brought a new element.
They
the
brought- but the-
scratching,
right.
and the back spinning.
But listen to what I'm saying. Our focus on Microwave TV is start. How did it start? And I never heard Flash say that he started hip hop. I never heard Theodore say that they started hip hop. The start would have to come from Soundview area or
the West Side.
the West Bronx.
Yes.
This is why, like I said, the West Bronx wasn't infatuated with gangs. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't, because you had, not to say a difference, because we all look like, well, that's the poor part and this is that.
Right.
Like you said, the abandoned buildings. You mostly had working class people.
Right.
You know, so you didn't need
The West Bronx.
Yes.
But so what I'm saying here is that, because I spoke to Coke LaRock about this, and he says the same thing. Hip-hop history needs to be rewritten correctly. What if I say the history of hip-hop needs to be rewritten correctly?
I agree. Because a lot of hip-hop to me is propaganda.
Because they was from the West Side, where it was a working class, middle class environment. There was no South Bronx element to it.
Right.
There wasn't no gangs, there wasn't no burnt down buildings, there wasn't poverty like that where they came from. Y'all part of hip-hop didn't come out of poverty. Right? It didn't come out of gangs.
Right.
It didn't come out of poverty.
It didn't come
out of burnt down buildings.
Not at all. That's what I
Right.
said was the difference.
So what you're telling me is that hip-hop started in a middle class environment.
Yes. And it expanded and grew over to the poverty.
Where they came from in the West Bronx was working class, middle class environment.
Right.
So if people want to say that hip hop started with Herc in '73, then we're going to have to change the narrative. Then it will have to be that hip hop started in a middle class environment on the West Side and trickled down to the South to the poor children. So in essence, we're saying that poor children copied what the middle class was doing.
Okay.
And that's problematic, because we know usually it's poor people who invent things, and middle class, they take the credit for it or whatever. But usually it's the poor people who invent things. The South Bronx.
No. South Bronx have nothing to do with hip hop.
And that needs to be laid down as a fact in hip hop history.
Okay, I agree with you with that.
Okay.
So back to what I was saying.
Now let me ask you, before we can get back into that, but the East Bronx, because I'm trying to do some research on this, the Soundview area. Do you remember any burnt down buildings, and except from, Boynton, Elder, or West Watson, Westchester? Do you remember any burnt down? Remember, Bronx had the arson thing when they was burning that, and that was the South Bronx.
Right.
Do you remember the Soundview area being burnt down?
It might have not been as burnt down, you could say, as the South Bronx.
Right.
South Bronx is it covers
Right.
a lot of territory.
Right.
A lot of territory.
Right. And it was getting burnt down, arson all over the place.
You figure once you get off that bridge, Manhattan coming to Willis Avenue, Mitchell Projects,
Right. Mitchell, right.
Mount Haven, Patterson, Millbrook,
Right.
Jackson,
Right.
going all the way up to like Claremont section.
Right.
That's South Bronx.
Right.
Like I said, once you get past that Hunts Point area, Whitlock, it's the East Bronx.
Right.
That Soundview section, that Bruckner Boulevard section. That's East Bronx. That's where I come from. Now,
Right.
the early DJs that I was watching in
Uh-huh.
the park before I even thought about DJing, Disco King Mario, Chuck City Crew, whoever
Okay.
was underneath his umbrella.
Okay.
Tex D, another DJ from Bronxdale.
Right.
He used to do a lot of parties with Mario. They used to team up together.
Right.
Also, two brothers. Rest in peace to Tyrone the mixologist. We just lost him.
Right.
Him and his brother, Cool D.
Right.
They also used to come out in the parks
Okay.
early.
Right.
Now these DJs that I'm mentioning, they come from the disco era. Disco era of DJing. However,
Okay.
and they're older than me. 4 and 5 years older than me.
Right.
So they was doing club parties, playing in clubs for the mature audience.
Okay.
74, 75, 76.
Right.
Them type of clubs teenagers wasn't getting into. There was no breakdancing or none of that.
Now,
in
what
them
DJs
type of
are you
clubs.
talking about in particular that was doing these clubs?
Cool D,
Okay.
Tyrone the mixologist.
Say
Those
75, 70. What years you gave?
two. I could say 74, 75,
75.
70. I wasn't going to no clubs then.
Okay.
I was enjoying the music going to the parks or little carriage rooms
Okay.
or the schoolyards or junior high school 123.
Right.
Remember, you had to be a little older going in them spots.
Right.
They were primarily disco DJs. However,
At that time, they was disco.
However, once hip hop was making his name, they was playing those break beats.
Would you call yourself a disco DJ? Or no?
Well, I'm both.
Both. You've done
Yeah,
both.
I've done both.
Universal.
So I can't see. There's people that were my mentors that were so-called disco DJs, Flowers, DJ Jones, and Plumber, right?
Okay.
So I can't not say that. Oh, I wasn't playing disco. I was, but I played hip hop too in the Bronx with the B-Boys.
Right.
The B-Boys know me,
Right.
and I played it well.
And look, we 50 years.
Right.
And this
50 years,
culture
we're
is
still
still
here.
going
Right.
on.
Right.
And went from some underground, out in the streets, to a multi-trillion-dollar business.
Right.
And
y'all the pioneers of it.
Yes, indeed.
Right.
Pioneers. A lot of us don't get, we don't get credited for certain things.
Right.
We ain't received our flowers yet. Hopefully, I'll be around long enough. I'll get my flowers. I've been DJing 44 years, continuous.
44, right. Take it back. You said 77. You started at 77, 78.
I started, put it this way, around 76, 77, I started gathering up equipment. I wasn't known as a DJ yet.
Okay.
78, I started getting out there. And I wasn't even known as Lightnin Lance. I didn't even have a DJ name when I first started. I got Lightnin Lance in 79. And I believe Africa Bambaataa might have gave me that Lightning, or my homeboy, rest in peace, Ricky Johnson. He's from my building.
So when you first got on the tables, would you crime too? Crime?
I was still doing graffiti, yes.
And you was still...
But I wasn't using crime as... People knew me as
Okay.
crime because I was doing graffiti. But
Okay.
I didn't have a DJ name.
Okay.
It's like something you want to do because somebody say, yo, get on the turntables and relieve me. I'm getting on somebody else's system. This dude named Felix. He used to do basement parties over there where I live at in Lafayette. And I used to carry his equipment, crates of records. His mother and my mother were good friends.
Okay.
And then around going into 79, I started my own crew. I used to hang out with these guys, the twins, Anthony and Andre. They used to live in my building. Both of them are dead now. It was me, Anthony and Andre. My name was Lightnin Lance by that time. Jazzy A and Thunder Rock. Those were their DJ names. They didn't stay in the DJ thing long. Maybe 2 years, 2.5 years, and then they got out of it.
Let me ask you. You say you don't remember Bambaataa may give you your name or Lightnin Lance. Was you a part of Zulu Nation?
Yes.
You was.
Yes.
When it first started, or
before it was the Zulu Nation, it was the organization.
right. So when you got in, it was Zulu Nation already.
It was Zulu Nation.
What was it? 70. What?
I'd say anywhere between 76, 77.
That's like the first.
Yeah, that's
original.
early. That's early. I met Bambaataa through my cousin Clyde. Bam used to come over to my cousin Clyde building, Scholar building, right between Rosedale and Rosedale Avenue.
Okay.
And Crows, which is not even 10 blocks from where we at right now.
Okay.
And Islam used to date my cousin Shambada, Colette, early in the game. So that's how I got introduced to Zulu Nation.
So do you remember the Black Spades at all? Like when they was spades, like when they had their colors on?
Yes, I did.
You remember that?
Yeah, I was a young shorty. Most of the original Spades, they're much young. They're much older than I am.
But would you see him in Lafayette over there?
I would be around. Remember, I used to go to Clyde's house early.
Okay.
And I used to go to this center right across the street from where Clyde's mom used to live. She passed on too. Rest in peace to my aunt, Beverly Hines.
Okay.
So I used to walk from Lafayette across the green overpath,
Right.
which 123
123,
junior
right.
high school is.
Right.
That's where they used to also do jams back early, 76, 77,
123,
78.
Right.
That was the first school I used to go to and hear the DJs. Early hip hop.
Right.
Early, still first decade,
Right.
first era. I started in the first era.
Right.
So I used to go there, the junior high school. But on the way over that overpath from where I live, and then I used to walk through Bronxdale projects to get to my cousin's house, Skylar building.
You used to
Early.
walk through the project, you
Yes.
see Spade, yeah?
Yes.
Nobody would bother you or nothing like that?
I had my fist fights.
Oh, yeah?
You know, I had to share some problems.
Okay.
You know, but you had to fight back then. And it was some tough dudes too. There's certain dudes that you knew that was stick-up kids or whatever. You tried to avoid them, but then after a while when they start seeing you, they know who you're related to, you coming to the jams, you good. You know what I'm saying? But everybody had to fight. Everybody, it was like that back then.
Yeah.
Not everybody had guns.
Oh, right. Okay. So you never tried to be a baby Spade and none
Nah,
of that? Okay.
I knew a lot of them, but nah. I
Okay.
stayed in my own lane.
The Zulu Nation, when you was the Zulu Nation, was there lessons? You had to read lessons and all that? You remember that?
What I did.
You did?
Early in the game. They used to have meetings though.
Okay.
I used to go to the meetings in Bronx River
Okay.
and whatnot.
Okay. Zulu was feared back then, right? Y'all was feared.
Zulu Nation, first it was just a Bronx River thing.
Right.
Mainly a Bronx River thing. What started with the organization to Zulu Nation. That's how far back I go.
Right.
When they used to have the green Zulu Nation membership cards
Mm.
and the blue membership cards. You know, you had to pay a certain amount, might have been $1 to
Okay.
get your Zulu Nation card and whatnot. Steep though.
Yeah.
Then by 80, 81, it started going universal all over. But it started out Bronx River. It's a Bronx River thing.
Yeah. Went around the world.
Exactly.
Did you ever travel with Zulu at all, or no?
No,
You just city?
I always worked. By the
Oh,
time I became a young man, I started working. I got
Okay.
2 pensions I'm working on.
Yeah.
All
Sounds
this
good,
time
yeah.
while I'm DJing,
Uh-huh.
I'm working. I'm getting a pension. You know what I'm saying?
Would you advise that for any young hip hoppers coming up?
You keep your music as, I could say, your leisure.
Hobby?
Not everybody that's good with this thing is going to be able to live off being a DJ or a rapper.
Okay.
You follow your passion, but at the same time, you got to have a backup plan. Not everybody can be an entrepreneur. Not everybody can make it big in the rap entertainment.
Right.
You know, it's rituals you got to go through when you get in that industry.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It's a lot of rituals.
I've always heard rumors about that.
It's rituals, man. You know, some people sell themselves to the devil. You got to do shit in order to. It's like this. You come in the game as an artist, you sign. It's like you want to be here or you want to be here and stay here for a while.
Right.
Not everybody's going to get to that level, no matter how talented and good you are. That's just the bottom line. Not everybody's going to be a Jay-Z.
Right.
Not everybody's going to be a P. Diddy Combs. It's just the bottom line.
Right.
You try to get in the game, you make the best of it without bending over backwards and get on to other things. Producing, you know, signing acts, you know. You may be lucky to get into acting.
Right.
You know, that's just what it is.
So,
Not everybody's gonna be successful in that game.
So, you said you was the first to scratch.
First to record live scratch on wax.
First to record. What year was that?
It came out in 81.
81. Is that like album cover? I see Live Convention or something like that. What album is that? What?
Live Convention. What it was a poorly produced record that was produced by a guy named Johnny Soul. My cousin, Little Shara, 5 years younger than me, she was the youngest MC out at the time. She might have been 13 or 14 years old. We was already rocking the S&C Garage and clubs like T Connection, and we was getting a name for ourselves already. She met a guy named Johnny Soul, who was a much older man, had a record store on 5th Avenue.
Okay.
And he met her and asked her, did she want to do a record?
Okay.
And she said, yeah, but I'm down with a crew called the Hypnotizing MCs. They from Co-op City. Shout outs to Dynamite D, Prince Domain, and MC Divine. They're all from the 5th section of Co-op City.
He was that Mario thing? Do you know?
Powerful. He's another member, but it went from Hypnotizing 3 to Hypnotizing 3 plus Little Shara to Hypnotizing 5. He was the next member to be part of Hypnotizing.
Okay.
It was him. His name was ICD back then, now called Powerful. And it was another rapper called MC Can Do. He was a 5%er.
What years is this, Hypnotizer 5?
I could say that was 81, going into 82. Because when they became Hypnotizing 5, they branched off from me and CLYDE and started rocking with Dynamite D's cousin, Little Theodore.
Okay.
And they started doing dates and bookings at Harlem World. So that was like late 81 into 82, 83.
Okay.
But they made their name with me. And they was rocking with FaZe for a little while before they was with me.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't know that. I didn't know FaZe was DJing. He might have did a party or two with them.
What do you mean? Like what years?
You talking their existence, Hypnotizing might start from 79.
When you said FaZe had a party, like when? You talking about back then?
From what Dynamite told me, he said they did a party or two with FaZe. I never knew that. And it was another dude that used to rock with them. He was an official member of Hypnotizing. His name was Willie B. He's from Co-op.
Okay.
It was down with FaZe. FaZe wasn't FaZe back then. I known him as DJ Easy Al back then. His name wasn't DJ FaZe. His real name is Booby.
Right.
At least that's what we used to call him back then, Booby.
Okay.
And then I guess his first DJ name was Easy Al. Because he used to rock with us in the early 80s, me and CLYDE on our set. In Bronx still. We talking like 83, 84.
Easy Al.
Yeah, I got some tapes of him on it. At least two parties we did with him.
You got tapes with Mario on? When did you meet FaZe, your first member of FaZe?
I met FaZe through my cousin. I used to see him around. I used to see him around Bronx still, but I officially met him from my cousin, CLYDE.
In the 80s or 70s?
80s.
80s, okay.
82, 83.
Okay.
I'm trying to call Boogie now. I'm trying to call. I just missed the call. Let's see if I could just text back. But anyway, he know where I'm at.
Okay. So what else like from the early 80s you can tell me about hip hop like?
It was exciting getting in the game. Something new, something different. Okay. Bringing people together, a lot of people together. You know, you was networking back then before you was networking. Before you knew you was networking. Remember, I got in at the introduction of it early. From breakdancing, graffiti, then to DJ.
When you was breakdancing, you was just breakdancing around your area where you was born?
I was breakdancing around this east side of the Bronx.
East side. So you never went to hurt parties?
Nah, I was too young.
Yeah, okay.
12, 13, 14. I wasn't going way on the west side. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know what was going on. I used to hear his tapes later on, 8-track tapes.
So what was you dancing to? If you wasn't at a hurt party, who was the DJ? Like, where would you break
I was
dancing?
dancing to songs like Just Begun, Shaft in Africa, Blow Your Head, Yellow Sunshine, Listen to Me, that's the Baby Huey joint, Mongolia, Apache.
Okay.
Those are the songs. Those were the early breakbeat songs. Voodoo Non.
Voodoo what?
Voodoo Non.
So when you was breakdancing, you was breaking dance to the whole song of those songs?
the get down part. That's the part that made you get on the floor and do them floor moves. Another song, Give It Up, Turn It Loose by James Brown. CLYDE, clap your hands. That's where my cousin Cool CLYDE got his DJ name from. Actually, CLYDE was his breakdancing name too.
Oh wow.
And then when he started DJing, it was Cool CLYDE. That's not his government name, but that everybody knows it. A lot of people know him as CLYDE. Ain't too many people know his real government name. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even gonna put it on the camera.
Right. Wow. Okay. Yeah, the Nasty Cousins.
The Nasty Cousins, Crazy by the Dozens.
Okay.
And that Nasty Cousins ain't come later to like, I say mid-80s. Because it went from individual names to Cousins Incorporation to Nasty Cousins. And that's when we started wanting to make records. We had to get a group name to try to make records. It was Nasty Cousins.
So in 80... So in 80, 81...
I say by 80, hip hop started changing. Prior to that, it was more about the DJ.
Right.
It was about the DJ.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? What he was doing, what records he was playing, what his sound system consisted of, how clear it was. That was a real big, I could say, ingredient to identifying who was playing. By their sound system, how loud it was, how clear it was, certain things he did, certain records he was playing, you know?
Yeah.
By the 80s, it was more about the MCs. More crews were forming. You know what I'm saying? They had Fantastic Five, they had Cold Crush, they had hypnotizing MCs, they had Crash Crew, you know? You started hearing more about MCs with records started coming out. You know, Curtis Blow, Treacherous 3, Disco 4, Jazzy 5. You started hearing more about that. Excuse me, I gotta answer.
Okay. Going back to 75, 76, when you was Crime 2 and breakdancing, what was you wearing at that time? Like, do you remember any of the styles?
With a style of clothing, that's I could say a big part of hip hop. The Lee dungarees, the Le Tigre polo shirts, the Champagne cologne.
Champagne cologne, okay.
Yes, going down to Delancey Street and Jew Man over there by Southern Boulevard. There was 3 Jew Mans. It was Rosie's, Hosiery, and also a Jew Man on Freeman Street. Getting the AJs with the dots and the pleats in the middle. Wearing British Walker shoes, Hush Puppy shoes, Playboys. These are names of shoes that I'm throwing out there.
Right.
People was basically not trying to break dance and do floor moves with hard heel shoes on. Your heel would break.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You wanted to wear jeans. You didn't want to wear, not saying it wasn't going on, but on the whole it wasn't going on. You wasn't wearing dress pants. You know, the dressing was different. More so than going to the club where the older guys were going.
Okay.
You know, it was breakdancing pretty much. You wasn't dressing like you was going to a funeral. You wasn't dressing like you was going to a job interview. You know what I'm saying? You wore jeans, you wore sneakers. You know. Later on, other styles, towards the 80s, mid-80s, other things started coming, like the fat rope chains.
Okay.
Back then, in the 70s, we was wearing the silver medallions or the gold medallions. You was wearing that. You was wearing the Kangos. You know. Then later on, the French star jackets, towards like late 70s, early 80s.
And when
the time come, you had the quarter fields.
Quarter fields, right.
Then later the sheepskins came.
What would y'all calling it? Would y'all calling it? This is before Fresh, right? It wasn't Fresh. Who was it?
It was Fly.
It was Fly.
Fly kids.
Fly. Okay.
Fly.
Right.
You want the fly girls.
Fly girls. Right.
You had to look like you was getting money.
Do you remember any more of the slang that was hip hop orientated, like?
Yes, y'all.
Yes,
to the
y'all.
beach, y'all.
Okay.
That's what it was.
Now let me ask you about graffiti. Okay, so can you see that over there on the side of the Apple Bank for savings?
Yes.
That graffiti, was that the kind of graffiti I was doing, or like behind these stores you can see more tags? Like what kind of graffiti was y'all doing?
When I started, there was different styles. Usually you was tagging. You was tagging the buses. You was tagging the trains with magic markers, Opays, Uni-wires. Your letters was coming out real thick and dripping. The ink was dripping.
So when you started, you wasn't doing spray cans?
I started out with markers.
Markers.
Then we used to go to the stores and we used to steal spray.
Right.
We wasn't buying them, we was stealing them. Then you had this thing called fat tops. There was a different type of tops that you took off for like other type of things that you would clean furniture with, or you would clean your windows with. You would take that off and put it on the spray can. Now the spray paint came out thicker than just the thin. It came out thicker tags.
So where was your favorite places to tag at?
Well, I work for transit now, as you can see, but
yeah, the trains.
I don't want to get fired.
Yeah.
But literally, back in the days, in the 70s, going into the late 70s, before I was known as a DJ, they used to have the layups.
Okay.
From Parkchester, going all the way down to like Elder Ave.
Now, what is a layup? Can you describe that?
Layup is they lay the trains up. That means when them trains are no longer used for the night. Because remember, as you go into the night and the midnight hours, you don't need as many trains out on the road because less people are commuting. So they would lay the trains up in certain areas, depending on what train line. The 6 train, they laid them up in Westchester Yard, Westchester Square Yard, and they don't do it now, no longer do it. They used to have trains laid up from Parkchester in the middle track, which we call the express track. From Parkchester, south of Parkchester, going as far as maybe Elder Avenue.
Okay.
And my aunt and mom, because remember, my cousin Clyde, mom used to live in the Schuyler building,
right,
which is between St. Lawrence and Soundview train station.
Right.
So they could just look out the window and see people doing masterpieces, tagging the outside of the train. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay.
There's a wet war going on here in New York. The weapons, acid spray and spray paint. The acid solution is sprayed on subway cars in this exotic urban car wash, 55 gallons per train in the costly battle against graffiti. Removing graffiti from the interiors and exteriors of New York's 6,000 subway cars costs the city more than $1 million a year.
Like, is any of your tags still around or no? Never saw it yet. When you first started, do you remember that spade up on places?
The graffiti.
Right.
Us. Graffiti, the rap.
Right.
You know all that stuff came from us.
The black spade.
I remember seeing the symbol and tags, and then there used to be a supermarket over here, down the block from where Clyde lived, where his mother lived. What was the name of that supermarket? Now it's called Fine Field. I forgot what it was called.
It's right on Westchester right there.
Yes.
Where you see spades there?
Used to be mad tags over there.
Okay.
Used to be pieces from a dude named Soda. He used to be a graffiti. I don't know if he's still living. And it used to be spade tags on.
Spade. And when you say spade tags, it was their names or just the symbol?
It used to be the symbol, and it used to be black spades. And if they was a graffiti writer, they would have TBS for the black spades.
Yeah.
We the original taggers.
Original taggers?
We the original taggers. We tagging that spade logo all over New York City. Everywhere we had turf, we tagged it, whether it was on the concrete, on the building, bench, whatever, wherever it was.
I'm trying to learn more about that because from some of the elder spades, they said they was the original taggers.
We was the original taggers.
Putting that spade up.
Right.
Late 60s, early 70s.
That was the first ever really graffiti. Late 60s, early 70s.
So you do remember some of them spades up
Yes.
places?
I didn't start getting into graffiti. Remember, these guys are older than me.
Right.
So you figure I started getting into as a young teenager. Anywhere like 12, 13,
Right.
14 years old.
Okay.
I started DJing, getting into DJing between 15 and 16. So you talking 77, 78. Started really getting on the turntables, practicing. Before you come out, you gotta practice. You gotta build yourself up. You gotta get the records. You gotta get the equipment. Like I said, one thing about an MC and a DJ, being a DJ, you had to have equipment. Back then, people wasn't just letting you on your system. You had to get your name up. Because after a while, I started getting my name up. I started rocking on other people's set. Like right now, I've been in the game 44 years plus. You know, cats, yo, Lance, we rocking. You can get on and rock. Back then, it was a little different. You had to make your way up to get your clientele. If you didn't have your own equipment, you wasn't making really no noise as a DJ. Other than the MC, you didn't need equipment. You need a microphone. You had rhymes, they heard you was dope, they was putting you down on the system. That's how it was, other than the DJ and the MC.
So wow, so after 40-something years of DJing, what's your motivation? Why do you still do it?
I got love for DJing, that's my passion. I just listen to music. Even before I was DJing, doing graffiti, I used to play the drums in the band. Every school that I went to, I was in the band. From grade school to 232.
That's by Cablevision, right? What was that?
232.
Grade? That was grade? That was 1 through 6?
I went there 4th, 5th grade.
So that was 60...
4th, 5th, or 5th, what's it? 5th, 6th, and... Hold up. 4th... Okay, let me see. Let me get this right. I moved over in Lafayette, 69. I went to 93, 69, 70, 71. I say from 72 to 74, I went to 232. That was a school with no windows. Prior to that being a school, it was a bowling alley.
This was a bowling alley, all right? And before it was Skating Palace, it was a bowling alley. Now, the monumental hip-hop jam was here, was never documented. Okay? I think Lance, there go Lance right there, Lightnin Lance.
So, you remember what years it was a bowling alley?
See, I got in 232.
It must have been
like
new. Was it new? It was kind of old by the time you got there? Or new? Or?
That school didn't last long. It wasn't a school long. So I don't know how many years it was a school prior to me going there. Like I said, I went there from 72 to 74. And I was in the band. I was playing drums. Then from 74 to 76, I went to IS 131, which is in the same area. A couple of blocks down.
Okay, right.
Then from 76, I was in the band then.
Okay.
They call it junior high school, it was really an intermediate school. IS stands for intermediate school. But I went there my junior high school years. 76 to 80, I went to Stevenson. So all of these schools is all in the same part of the Bronx, that Bruckner Boulevard, Story Avenue, Lafayette. I was in the band. I was always into music. Even as a little kid, 2, 3 years old, my mother and father and grandmother used to have to rope up the Victrola, they used to call it. So I wouldn't get into the system and play and mess with the records. I was actually scratching my dad's records up at the age of 3 and 4 years old. Literally scratching them up with markers and crayons and stuff. My grandmother used to let me destroy his records. I still got these records to this day. So literally, yeah, I'm the first DJ to put scratch on wax.
Okay. Is that a record that we can still buy or no?
Yes, it's probably reissued on the same label the Mark the 45 King put out. It was originally on the Soul on Wax label. And then Tough City Records reissued it. It might be reissued on another label now.
Are you getting paid for it?
No, I'm not getting no money.
What is it? Just a single or is a whole album?
This is how it came about. Johnny Soul took me and my crew in the studio. He told my cousin Little Shara to tell me to bring turntables and a mixer. I brought my MCs in. He said, look, make it sound like you at a party. That's why they call it live convention. Because other than our track on there, on the B side of that record, you got snippets from tapes that were recorded at hip-hop spots, hip-hop parties, that were sliced on, snippet on to the B side. You got snippets from a celebrity club, from Grandmaster Flash, Melly Mel was rhyming, Busy B Starsky was on there, who was Chief Rocker Busy B, a dude named MC Smiley. They was on that B side of that record. You got snippets from a tape. You also got snippets from a party that was at the T Connection. Chirac's on there. KG from the Cold Crush Brothers is on there. Cool DJ AJ is DJing on there. These were all snippets from tapes from parties put on there on the B side. That's why he told us to make it sound like it was at a party, but it was actually in a recording studio. And my MCs was rhyming and doing routines over me cutting, scratching a record called Heartbeat by Tanya Garden before the record got popular, really. And that's how that came about. And I didn't know until a decade later that I was the first DJ actually doing that.
Was it you and CLYDE or just you?
Actually, it's just me. Actually, just me doing the rugs and the scratching.
So with the CLYDE, did he have any involvement with it at all?
He's my cousin. He's going to include himself. That's what it is.
Oh. Let me ask you, how many battles did you get in back in the day? Was you battling a battle?
Nah,
DJ?
I wasn't really battling nobody.
Wasn't a battle? You just put it on for the people?
I just put on for the people.
Right, okay.
And I've been in some battles. Mount Vernon, they had a club up there down the block from where Heavy D, but this was later on in the 83, 84.
Okay.
I was in a DJ battle, 85, 86, with Jazzy Jeff at a spot up in Fordham Road that he won, and that's when I met him. And then he said he remembered me from the old school, probably that live convention record, because that record went all over. It went to different states, different countries. Remember, Jazzy Jeff from Philly. You know, he's a tad bit younger than me. Right. He was making his name.
Now I want y'all to know that Jazzy Jeff is the greatest of all disc jockeys, so come on, Jeff, rock them. If you please, if you please, if you please, faster. If you please, if you please, if you please, if you please,
Transformer, you know. When I met him after the DJ battle, we shook hands, and he said, "Oh, I remember you from the old school." He never met me personally, but that record went all over. And I was just in a battle last month at Arthur Park. Brother Divine, who works with me down here, train operator, issued a battle to me, friendly battle. In Arthur Park, and you know the outcome. Oh, yeah? But it was a good battle though. It was good. It was a favor I did for him to come up. You know, he did his thing though. And I don't practice, I just get on and rock. That's just me. I'm at work 10 hours a day.
You recommend this profession?
Oh yeah, transit, why not? It's strict. What? You can make a good living. You can buy a house, build your credit up, take care of your family.
What's top pay?
Right now for train operator, once you get the top pay is about close to 40 an hour.
A year, how much is that a year? Anyway.
With no overtime, roughly anywhere between 80, 90 grand. I do a lot of overtime. It's just me. I'm trying to get it in.
Is that a city job?
City, federal, all combined. It's a city, got a pension.
Right.
Nicest pension.
Because I heard that it wasn't city.
It's not all city.
It's not all city.
No.
Okay.
Most city agency, you got to work 30 years and be 62 to retire. Here, you come down when you 30, you do 25 years, you 55, you out. Pension.
You got to be 55 or 20 or
you could do more than 20. If you come down when you in your 20s, you do it and you stay here, you doing more than 25. I got a guy that's retiring in a week. He got 33 years. He came down in his 20s. He just turned 55 the other day. So you come early and you stay here, you're gonna do more than 25, but you get a bigger pension. Once you do 25, for more than 25 years, they add more percentages to your pension. I'm just doing 25 and I'm out. I got a pension elsewhere. I used to work for welfare in 1983. That's another pension. That's N.Y.C.H.A. That's an add-on. I've been working all my damn life. Just like I've been in this hip-hop game, majority of my life, I've been working majority of my life, continuous. Not a day off. I've been DJing 44 years continuous. It ain't too many guys that can say they started before me, started with me, started after me, that continuously was DJing. Some dudes took off 5 years, 6 years, a decade, got back into it. I continuously kept doing it. And it wasn't, I'm just not about break beats. I do all type of parties. I'm in your bar mitzvah, your sweet 16, your backyard cookout, your wedding reception, your retirement party, your divorce party. I do it all. All.
So how would they contact you?
Hit me up, DJ Lightnin Lance at yahoo.com. Lightnin spelled L-I-G-H-T-N-I-N. Lance, L-A-N-C-E. I could pull out tons of flyers where my name is spelled wrong. People are spelling it any way they want to.
They're putting a G at the end.
They're putting a G at the end. They spelling it L-I-G-H-T-E-N, L-I-G-H-T-I-N, L-I-G-H-T-E-N-I-N-G.
But ain't that what you said? I-N, right? No.
It's L-I-G-H-T-N-I-N.
N-I-N. Okay.
Lightnin. Lightnin Lance, not lightning. Lightning. They spelling it all type of ways. CLYDE just got an article, something that, cause you know he's like a journalist. He got his TV show. He stepped away from music. I handle that, you know, and he interviews a lot of people. He had an article in the Union paper, and they spelled both our names wrong. They spelled this government wrong. They spelled lightning wrong, and I had to text him about that. Nobody seems to get it right. But it's L-I-G-H-T-N-I-N, Lance at yahoo.com. Like I said, I'm everywhere. I've been in magazines, newspapers, you name it. One of the unsung DJs from that beginning era.
Okay. You remember Mario? Is there anything you want to say about Mario?
Of course, I remember. Mario knew who he used to come over there. He played on our set around 80, in the 80s. He had stopped DJing early though. I say about 81 he stopped. Then he dibbled and dabbled in it 83, 84, but by 80s he was like really, his era was, I say for me, 74, 75 to like 81. A lot of DJs that was in the early game that wasn't considered hip-hop DJs, they stopped. Tex D, I don't know where he's at. I haven't seen him in years.
Do you remember, like, did Mario ever give you a reason of why he slowed up with the music? Did he ever tell you why?
No, he didn't. I just think, not saying him, but I just think when the crack epidemic started getting heavy, a lot of dudes started chasing that. A lot of dudes started, even the twins, rest in peace. We all smoked our weed back then, drank our, you know, our Colt 45, our Old English, you know, our champagne, what they call it, golden champagne. I never graduated from that. Once the cocaine came in and you got conditioned to that high, it went from that to freebasing to crack. Crack came around, it was 75, it was rampant. Anywhere between 75, 85, 1985, 85 to 89, it was rampant. You got hooked, you was selling everything but the kitchen sink. All the pay phones was busted open. A lot of DJs that was in the parks in the 70s, they wasn't in the parks no more. Bambaataa, once Planet Rock blew up in 82, he was touring. He might have did a party here and there outside, but that was us, the Nasty Cousins, in all of these parks around this East Bronx. We conquered that. Yes.
What was that era like? What years that era?
Anywhere from 80 to 89. We was doing mad parties. 100 Park, Soundview Park, Bronx River. We even did stuff with Bambaataa in the 80s. Kips Bay, Boys Club, 81, 82. Bronx River Community Center. We brought our equipment out there in the back of the center in 84, playing in the center, 83, 84. By now, we talking second decade of hip-hop. First decade is anywhere from 73 to 83. Once 83, ending in 83, 93, second decade, and so forth. Every 10 years is a decade.
So y'all was mainly around the Soundview area, DJing?
We was bringing our sound system in all of these parks, in this Soundview, Castle Hill, Bronxville, Lafayette, Monroe, Bronx River section. We was also playing in Mitchell Gym, 83. We was also bringing our sound system to Claremont Gym as early as 81, 82, playing with Fantastic Five, Mean Gene. Shout out to Mean Gene. Another person that's not mentioned, they're early in hip hop, early. That's Grand Wizard Theodore's older brother. There was no Mean Gene. You might have not heard about Grand Wizard Theodore when y'all did hear about him early. Y'all heard about him early. He was young. Early y'all heard about him. Y'all wouldn't have heard about him if it wasn't no L Brothers. Big ups to Mean Gene and DJ Cordio. I'm around them all the time. And Theodore came over to the east side of the Bronx early, and he used to play on Mario's set.
You here with Grand Wizard Theodore, Creative Scratch, and the Needle Drop. Yo, we here in Soundview, came here to represent for Disco King Mario. We've been doing this since the early 70s, like 71, 72. So my hats go off to Disco King Mario.
Another guy who got their start MCing with Mario, Busy B. Starsky. He was with Mario before he got with the L Brothers. I'm talking early now, 70s, early. You started hearing more about MCs between 77 and 78. Prior to that, it was all about basically the DJs. And it wasn't millions of DJs back then. It wasn't thousands of DJs back then. It just wasn't. You know, and then to come out in the parks, you had to have the big speakers, the powerful amps. You had to have a crew to back you up. And mostly, you was coming out in your territory, where you lived, where you had juice from. That's just basically the bottom line. If you played in somebody else's area or in another part of town in the Bronx, you had to know somebody over there. Have a family member that had juice to hold you down. Because cats was robbing you. They was robbing your sound system back then. Our first big successful outside party that we did was in 100 Park with Africa Bambaataa. It was like a battle. He had his sound system with Zulu Nation, Soul Sonic Force, and Jazzy J and them, and we was over here on this side, and we took turns back and forth. I'm glad I still got tapes from then.
Is there a winner? How did that?
I was tearing it up.
Okay.
I had to make my mark. Lightnin Lance. I had to tear it up. It was me and Clyde and the twins. Rest in peace to the twins. Still got that tape. I don't have the tape from their side because our box was hooked up to our system. It wasn't a battle, but you would say if people was coming out there, it's like, yo, they battling. Whenever you see two sound systems, you're gonna assume it's a battle. It was two sound systems. But we came on there on the strength of Bam. Bam used to come over to Lafayette in the late 70s to see the twins. Remember, I was with them. We started as a crew, the twins. We was from Lafayette, and we was the crew from Lafayette. That's what they used to call us.
Got a crew?
Before
Got a
it was
name?
it was the crew from Lafayette,
Oh,
the
yeah?
Lafayette crew. It was, this was before Nasty
How many of
Cousins.
y'all was it? Like from the Lafayette
It was
crew?
me, it was the twins, it was another guy named, we used to call him Pokey. His real name is Clyde, Big Clyde. Younger than me. It was my homeboy Ricky Johnson, he used to MC. And we used to rock with Cornell, Nelly Nell, he was rhyming too. We used to put him on our sound system. Remember, you had the system. We had the system. I had the big speakers, Clyde didn't have his speakers.
What was your
yet.
system? Like the
I still got these speakers.
Called what? What's the name?
Double scoops. 2 15-inch
double spook?
Scoops. I had two of them. There was two woofers and one cabinet. I had two of them. Very loud, very heavy, very wide.
What kind
it
of
was about
amplifier
this
you
wide.
had?
We had phase linears. That's what we used to use. Other amps they had Crowns. They had Sherwin Vegas. They had amps with tubes in them back then.
You had a crossfader?
We wasn't using no crossfader.
You wasn't using crossfader?
No. All we had preamps. We had preamps back then. We never bought crossfaders back then.
Echo chamber?
We didn't have an echo chamber. Did we? We did have an echo chamber. We did have an echo chamber. Yes, we did. We did have an echo chamber. I don't know whose echo chamber it was, but that first big jam, it was an echo chamber on that
what
tape.
What kind of turntables?
We had Technique 210s. Once, this is how I started. Before I was known as Lightnin Lance, I had a separate Gerard turntable, and I hooked it up to the component set, which we call a Victrola. It had a turntable in it. It had a tuner, which is radio, and an 8-track. And I used to go, I didn't even have a mixer. It was a button, a button that I used to hit on and off. You would hit, I would hook it up, the input for this turntable, and then the other button, once I pressed the other button, then that turntable will play. And it used to be a little piece where you stick the headphones in. And that's how I started learning how to mix in my house. Then as you start working, Summer Youth Corps, you put your money aside, you go to Southern Boulevard to Vic Mars, and you would buy the 210 turntables. This is before the 220s and the B1s.
What's the name of your speakers again?
They was called, I had them built, a place called West Sounds, located in Queens.
What was the name of them?
They was called Double Scoops.
Scoops,
that's the name of them. Scoop cabinets. And they would have they would hold two 15-inch speakers in it. Getting the cabinets is one thing. Now you gotta put the woofers inside of the cabinets. And they was shaped like a scoop. The two big 15-inch, and then down below it was scooped. The sound would come down. So I had two of those that I had built in 1979. My dad gave me $500 as an early graduation present. And the choice was either getting some speakers or a moped. Mopeds was popular. It was getting popular at that time. The twins had these. The twins, they had their mopeds first. They had they speakers first. A dude by the name of Isaac. He was a DJ. Before I was. He's from Monroe. Short-lived. He was down, I think, with the Crazy 8 crew. Remember, back then, they had a lot of crews that did not stay around long enough for them to get really known. You know what I'm saying? You might have had a year or two in the game. Then you did other things. Isaac was a DJ. He also built speakers. The twins paid him money to build them folding horn speakers. Later on, when my cousin got down with them, remember, I started with the twins as a crew. Okay. I didn't start with CLYDE. CLYDE was DJing already with Boogie Black's uncle. His Nelson, not WC. Okay. Nelson Romy, they call him Romy Nelson, Jerome Nelson. He retired from Transit. Okay. They had a crew from Bronx still. It was Noli D also. It was, what's the guy name? Damn, Tony Ross, DJ Bamboo. He was down with them. Started in Bronx still. They used to do basement parties. They wasn't coming out in the parks. Just doing basement parties, house parties. He was down with them because I went to a couple of their parties. Okay. I started out with a crew from where I live, Lafayette, which is across the highway. Right. 10-minute, 15-minute walk. Around 79, my cousin broke off from them. Okay. We started putting our stuff together. His records, his mixer. Right. I already had turntables, because remember, I'm 4 years older than my cousin CLYDE. I was already working for Summer Youth Corps since 76. So I was putting money aside to get my turntables. Got my 210 turntables. So when we was with the twins, they had turntables, I had turntables. They had a mixer, I had a mixer. I was dedicating to this DJ thing. You know, I already heard of Grandmaster Flash. Once the dude started with the quick mixing and the scratching, that elevated me to say, yo, I gotta do this. Remember, I was already going to those early Rosedale Park jams, watching Cool D, his brother Tyrone, Tex D, and Disco King Mario. I was already at their parties before I was thinking about DJing in that Soundview section.
420, yeah.
I was already going to them. So they inspired me to be a DJ, and my cousin CLYDE got me more interested in being a DJ and getting good, because we did a lot of things together, from the breakdancing, graffiti, and DJing, to all these events that we did for everybody and their grandmother, from promoting parties in the 90s, doing stuff with artists like Horace Brown, Mary J. Blige when she first came out, groups like the Intruders, Delphonics. We branched on to other things. It wasn't just about the park jams and cutting up break beats. Remember, that was a short-lived era. Once the rap records started coming out, it was about the MCs playing them hit rap records. The younger generation's coming up now. This hip-hop thing is big, man. Shout out to hip-hop, shout out to all the founding fathers of hip-hop. Shout out to all the icons, the living legends. It's DJ Lightnin Lance, the Bronx Burn Kid, first to record Scratch, the Nasty Cousin. And shout out to you for documenting all of this.
Shout out to you, salute to you, being one of our hip-hop pioneers.
Thank you.
You don't stop, you don't stop. The party people in the place. I want you to feel the funky bass. With the hypnotizing 3, 4, gonna put it in your face. I like the lance on the wheels of steel, cutting up the real deal. She comes so nice.